yesterday. Boy, we need patriots now more than ever. Guess
right.
what? We have one.
Yes, we do.
From not just the great state of California. I like to think of him as the big buttery Chardonnay of congressmen. From Napa and Sonoma counties, here he is, Representative Mike Thompson. Good morning, Representative.
Good morning. Don't forget Lake County and soon to be Yolo County.
That's right.
Also great wine producing counties.
Yeah, exactly. Representative, I know you may have to go at a moment's notice because you are doing something very important. You are voting on gun legislation, which is so. For you, by the way, you're on the House Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. You were on the Ways and Means Committee, of course. So this has got to be a big moment for you. This is the first time in 30 years we've gotten any gun legislation done, right?
Well, it's incredibly important. As you point out, I chair the Task Force on Gun Violence Prevention, and we've been fortunate in the House. We've passed background check legislation, a bill that I wrote. We passed that twice over to the Senate, where it went over there to meet its demise. And we just passed another bill a week and a half ago that also went over to the Senate that I think was in large part responsible for the success we're voting on today. We passed a bill that would have provided a great degree of safety for schools and our communities, for protected kids, had a number of components that directly address gun violence. And I think that went a great distance in pushing the Senate into finally passing what we're going to vote on today, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act.
Yeah, Representative, I have to say, in wake of what happened in the Supreme Court yesterday, this is sorely needed. I mean, it is obviously was a depressing day on guns in terms of the Supreme Court, but 15 Republicans in the Senate voted. I mean, that's progress at least, right? And, you know, as I understand it, this has federal funds to enact red flag laws. It also closes the boyfriend loophole, requires gun buyers under the age of 21 to pass a background check that includes juvenile and psychiatric records to check for troubling behavior. Obviously, many of these mass shooters have been under 21. So, you know, this, as you say, this will save lives. It's not nearly as strong as I'm sure you would like or a lot of us would like, but it's a start, right?
Yeah, it's a significant start, and you're absolutely correct. It will save lives. Every provision of this bill will save lives. And what happened with the Supreme Court yesterday was tragic, but I don't think anybody was surprised with this court. That just means that we've got to continue to go after this. You know, gun violence is a huge problem. Everybody learns about it when there's a mass shooting, like the tragedy in Uvalde or in Buffalo, New York, or in Sandy Hook Elementary School. But the truth is, 30 people every day are killed by someone using a gun. And if you add suicides and accidents, that number bumps up to 100 every day. So we've got our work cut out for us.
I don't think I've ever seen Governor Hochul of New York as angry. You know, she's from my hometown of Buffalo, you know, right in the wake of the Buffalo shooting. And also, they're so inconsistent. I thought they were the states' rights party, right? And now, you know, it's just, and they're going to say the exact opposite about a woman's right to choose in a minute. I mean, it makes no sense even constitutionally, does it?
No, the court right now is, I think, in a bad place. And I think a lot of us warned about that. And most certainly our warnings most certainly came to fruition during this last administration. So, as I say, it just means more work for us at both the state and the federal level to make sure that our communities and our schools are safe.
And Representative Thompson, you made a great point on Twitter because speaking of precedent with Roe v. Wade, which is, 50 years, you said SCOTUS striking down New York's concealed carry permit law strips states of the ability to set gun regulations to keep their citizens safe. New York's law was on the books for over 100 years. This extreme ruling undermines responsible firearm legislations and will lead to more gun violence. I mean, it must feel like an exhausting fight for you. Like I said at the top of the show today, one step forward, two steps back at the Supreme Court, right?
Well, I've been doing this long enough to know that the fight's never over. You don't rest on your laurels. Matter of fact, if you could pass the perfect bill to deal with any problem, as soon as before the ink was dry, you better be starting to work on continuing to address that problem. We don't solve problems in government. We address problems.
Yeah.
And as soon as a bill is passed, there are unintended consequences. Actions have reactions. So you continue to work on these things. And gun violence prevention is a serious enough problem, an important enough problem, and one that we will always have to work on to ensure that our communities are safe.
Can I just, your one tweet, you said every day we hear more about the illegal and misguided effort to overturn the democratic will of the people by the former president and his followers. The survival of our democracy depends on accountability, and the Bipartisan 1-6 committee must continue to expose the truth. Have you, even though you're in the thick of it, been shocked by what you've been hearing and seeing from the J6 committee?
Well, I'll tell you, the committee has done an outstanding job laying bare the facts. And the testimony from Trump administration individuals and Republican legislators over what happened, I think really tells an alarming story. There is no question in my mind that what this past president tried to do was overturn a legal, bona fide election and reverse the will of the people. That's frightening, and we should all be concerned about that.
Speaking of frightening, I hate to be the one to tell you, but Roe has just been overturned.
Oh, wow.
I don't think anyone's surprised.
Yeah.
This is a terrible thing, and for 50 years, women have enjoyed the rightful protection and that Roe provided. And this is the first time in my memory, in my life, that the United States Supreme Court has actually taken a right away from someone.
Yeah. Neal, the famous legal analyst, I thought said it best. He said, going to be very weird if the Supreme Court ends a constitutional right to obtain an abortion this week, saying it should be left to the states to decide, right after it just imposed a constitutional right to concealed carry of firearms, saying it cannot be left to the states to decide. This is the day.
Well, their inconsistency is certainly consistent.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the only thing they're consistent about. Oh, I got to tell you, I don't know if it's being a woman representative, but everything we knew is coming. That just hit me like I'm a little winded. It's like our worst fears are really coming true, aren't they?
Well, maybe this will sound an alarm.
Yes.
As Speaker Nancy Pelosi often says, don't agonize, organize.
Exactly.
I think this is a real clear example of how we need to make sure that we get out and vote and we elect people that will protect our constitutional protections.
I mean,
Stephanie, I'm going to have to jump.
Okay.
You're going to go get us some gun safety right now.
That's
so
right.
We appreciate that.
And we're going to let you go. I'm not even going to make you choose between Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. That was going to be my trick question, but okay.
Thank you,
Well, I hope to
Congressman.
invite me back. We can talk about
anytime.
gun policy, women's rights, or the great wine they make in my district.
Absolutely.
We will do that.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thank you. Okay. It's like these January 6 hearings where we know some stuff, but just to see it all, it just wins you. It knocks the wind out of you. And I know we knew this was coming. It's just welcome to The Handmaid's Tale.
Hopefully we'll find out some more about the opinions
I'm
soon.
sure you're all getting the same things on your phone as I am. SCOTUS ends Roe. The Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade, turning the clock back generations on reproductive freedom in the United States.